Hello, everybody. Hello. This is your boy, Coach P, here live on this blessed Tuesday afternoon. I have a very special guest coming on tonight, a young man that I've been watching a lot on Facebook. He'll be tagging in shortly, but I want to again thank you for tuning in. Antauwn, I see that you tagged in, so let's get you in, and we're going to get straight onto it so we have a lot of stuff that we are going to talk about tonight. Okay. Antauwn, his name. He's on. I think he was on.
Just make sure he's still on.
Antauwn, make sure you stay on. We get ready to send it to you now. I think it's ATANWN. Give us a second. We're going to get him locked in and we're going to get started. And we got a lot of things that we're going to cover tonight, and then a lot of things I need to say to what we're going to do. Antauwn Wade is his name. Look at my family, Miss Dale. How you doing? Y'all, just give me a second. We're going to get it right in a minute. And we're going to jump right into it because I know it's kind of, well, it's not late, but we just going to go ahead and get into it because we got a lot of things that we're going to.
If he's on.
Yeah, he's on because I already said that he was on. Coach Good, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Antauwn, if you on, let me know that you're on, buddy. Let me know that you're on. Antauwn Wade, if you're on, let me know if you're on. Rodney, great tournament this weekend, man. You played some ball this weekend. He's here right there. See him right at the bottom right there. You played some good ball this weekend, man. I really enjoy seeing you play the game, man. You can play the game the right way. Yeah, that's him right there. Just send it to you, so you send it back to me so we can get you on. We keep going. There he is.
What's up, Coach?
I'm good, man. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How about you?
Man, I'm blessed to be here, man. I appreciate you on my Sports Talk Live here at Coach P. Really appreciate you coming on, man.
Yes, sir.
This is something that new that I started. Is what I'm trying to do is feature some new coaches in the area, and I know that you coach a lot of AU ball. I had an AU coach on earlier on my show, and I see that you're doing some good things with AU. But before we get started with everything, introduce yourself to the Facebook world and to my YouTube page.
Hi, everyone. I'm Antauwn Wade, Coach Wade. I was coaching for about 10 years now. I started coaching recreation basketball probably in 2011. Started doing that once I graduated high school. After that, I coached JV basketball with Wade Hampton High School. After that, I did Robert Smalls International Academy in Beaufort, South Carolina, middle school girls. From there, I started coaching JV girls again, helping with JV girls. And then eventually I started coaching at USC Aiken as a student assistant coach. Did that from 2018 to 2020. We had the best record, I think, for the 2019 year for the first time in a long time. We didn't lose a game till like January or something like that, which is unheard of.
Right.
And then this year I'm at Midland Valley High School.
Oh, okay. Good job, man. Midland Valley, that's a big jump, man.
Yes,
what are you gonna be coaching over there?
I'm gonna be coaching JV. I'm gonna be head coaching JV and assistant coach with Coach Marcus Diggs.
Oh yeah, I know him. Good guy. Well, Coach, again, man, thank you for tuning in with me with Sports Talk Live with Coach P, and also I have that's my YouTube channel, Sports Talk Live with Coach P. My email is sports talk coach p gmail.com. If any one of you would like to be on, and I'm gonna say this before we get started, I know we've been getting a lot of requests that everybody wants to get on my show, and that's what I want. But I am, I'm doing 1 or 2 shows a week, and I have a lot of people I have to put on. But if you get on my show, we're gonna talk about some good things, man. And Coach, what I want to talk to you about, man, we're gonna get right into it, man. That I've been seeing you on Facebook, with your coaching JV basketball and coaching AAU basketball, and that's a great thing. That's a great thing as a young coach. And
Thank you. Thank you.
I want you to tell me and tell the world, because I have a lot of listeners out there, and we do this show because we want you to reach and touch somebody, and somebody might can reach and touch you with some suggestions, because just because you might have been around basketball 20 years or 10 years, you don't know everything about basketball yet. You're still learning.
Exactly.
And I want you to tell the folks out there about AAU basketball, because the last month or so I've been hitting on AAU basketball because it is the summertime, and that's when
Right.
AAU basketball is played, in the summertime. So would you hop on why it's so important for kids to play AAU basketball?
Uh, I was one of those coaches that was like, before. I never really played AAU. I'm from Hampton. We never really had an AAU program, so I was one of those coaches that was like, AAU is just travel ball. I'm thinking, I was ignorant to the fact of, okay, they just driving around just playing basketball, until I started with me and a coach from Hampton AC. Uh, we started like this travel ball team in Varnville. So
Right.
once we started that, it was fun. It was fun. We was playing against different teams. We got beat up a little bit, playing against different teams. And then we were just traveling. And then once I moved to Aiken, it was just, this year is my first time, because that was just travel ball. We was just traveling. And literally this year was my first time ever being a part of an actual AAU program. And I didn't see the importance of it until, just being with the college and understanding that, they have some big teams out there
Oh
and
yeah,
some
yeah,
legit teams. Yeah.
yeah.
And AAU for me now is just like, it's just as important as high school basketball,
Right, right.
honestly,
It is. Yeah, it is.
because, with COVID going on, so not too many people can come in the gym, with the social media now, right now, actually this week is Peach Jam in North Augusta. This week
Right.
right here,
That's a big
that's
time
the
tournament.
that's the biggest AAU tournament in the United States of America.
It is. I've been there a
Yeah,
couple of times.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
biggest one, and you got over, I don't hundreds of college coaches there. So it might take you one game. You might have one good game at that tournament over the summer, and you might have an awful season last year. That
Right.
one good game might get you a look or a scholarship,
Yeah, you're
and
right,
that's
Coach.
from AAU.
Right. You're right. Well, I tell you this here, Coach. I remember you back in the days playing basketball, and you were a very competitive basketball player. And I haven't seen none of your teams that you coach at. With you being all the way out there in the Aiken area, I probably, with me done retired from coaching now, so I ain't gonna be I'm gonna travel to a lot of games, but I'm here to, like, I want to support you in any type of way to get it out there to you, that get out to people. You run an AU program, and it's very successful. But you're saying that you're from Hampton, and we know that you went to school at Wade Hampton, and you graduated from Wade Hampton. Would you see one day that you would love to see Wade Hampton, well, not Wade Hampton, but the Hampton County and surrounding areas get an AU program going?
Oh man, well, they actually got one now. It's called the Elite Warriors, and
Okay,
well, AC Creech, he was one of the founders of it. When
right,
we first started, we started with just literally Me, him, a couple of guys from the community, threw some kids in the car, went to Georgia, just played, and for us, our first tournament, we wore T-shirts, man.
Wow.
And when I tell you, we playing against these teams that's sponsored by Adidas and Nike, it does something to your mental because being from Hampton, you thinking like, okay, finances wise, you thinking, all right, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a tournament. But when you play in AAU, you'll see those sponsors team and those EYBL teams that has the Nike bags and the Nike jumpsuits, or
Right, right.
it does something to you. So I would love to see a AAU team out of Hampton, which they do have one now, and they're pretty successful too. Yeah,
That's
they're
good.
pretty
'Cause
successful.
you mostly, if you see AU teams in your community or near your high school, and your high school will be very successful. And I've been noticing that in the last 2 or 3 years with Wade Hampton boys, which if everybody that don't know, Wade Hampton basketball team just ain't been successful for the last 2 years. They've been successful back since the 70s and
Right,
80s and
right,
90s, and they just adding on, and because y'all breed basketball players down there for some odd reason. I don't know what y'all doing down there, but they breed some basketball players. But that's a good thing. I mean,
right.
some towns breed football players, some breed, different sports. So a lot of people look at it like, well, they are 1, 2A school, they're not going to have that many kids. I tell people all the time, you need to get out of this thing about, well, they're a 1A team and they're a 4A team and there's a 5A team. Listen, basketball is 5-on-5. The floor is the same length. The goal is the same length. You got to play. So
Gotta
this
play the
thing about,
game.
different thing about, where if a kid go to this school, a kid go to this school, because in y'all surrounding areas, if I'm right, there's Wade Hampton, Estill, and, Allendale is like basically on the outskirts. So that's 3 schools. And, a lot of people do know that, those are rivalry games,
And
and you got to play your
that
best game when you play your home
every
rivalry games.
and you was in Allendale for a second, so
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
importance of. I remember times when we playing in Allendale, man, and you know where the gas station is from Wade Hampton.
yeah. You had to walk
People
from
was
there.
people
Yeah,
was parking at the gas station just to get to
yeah,
the game.
yeah,
And
yeah.
for people that don't know where Wade Hampton is, that's like, that's a little hop, to get from, to get from the gas station to the gym. But which is amazing. Now they're combining Estill and Wade Hampton next year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so now that it is a rivalry, but now they're gonna combine it. I hope, and what I would love to see is everybody come together because
Right.
Estill
Right.
produced some good players also, as well
Right.
as Wade Hampton. So now I'm hoping that us combining will produce a even stronger house.
Team. Right. Right.
Hmm.
Well, Coach. Again, let me just make a couple announcements. We're here live with my buddy Antauwn Wade, coach now at Midland Valley's JV team. Again, this is Coach P, Sports Talk Live with Coach P. That's my YouTube page. Or you can email me, Sports Talk with Coach P Gmail. Gmail. I'm sorry, .com. But Coach, I had a coach last week. You probably know him, Coach Brown, Charles Brown from Battery Creek High School. I had a coach in from Stall High School, and you know, it's seasoning. I put a lot of seasoning in it. I had an older coach at the beginning, a younger coach next one. Now I got another young coach, and then I had my buddy Tron Grant on a couple weeks ago, and a lot of them shared on what makes you want to be a head coach. What drives you to be a head coach? I know you love the game. You love I see you on your Facebook pages and how you teach in the game, and that's what we need today for is coaches teaching the game and just letting players play the game. So tell me what desire for you to be a head coach one of these days?
I
Because right
mean,
now I'm putting you on a spot right now, because if there's somebody out there watching that at a high school and say, you know what, I'm gonna watch Coach Two Page and I'm gonna see who we got on tonight. So now this is your time right here to make a friend with somebody. And you go ahead, Coach.
well, first I see Coach Glenn Mayo in here, man. I just want to speak, man. Just Coach Glenn. But what drives me to be a head coach, man, it's the same way that what drives me to be a assistant coach for all the years that I have been an assistant coach, in which I'm still an assistant to a varsity team.
Right.
But I just want to see the kids grow. Like that's what I love to see. Like I love to see the kid that what makes me, I don't know, what makes me get up in the morning is seeing the kid that can barely dribble with his left hand, or can't dribble, or can't make a left hand layup from October 31st, the first day of tryouts, to February 2nd, in the playoffs, and this kid on the left side of the court, and I'm confident knowing like, oh, he gonna make that. Like we worked on this, and it's a grind as far as like me telling the kids, hey, you got to put the work in. So for me being a head coach, how can I preach that to them? And I can't, I'm not doing the work. I'm not putting the work in myself. So if I'm gonna be a great head coach one day, I got to be a great assistant. So that's what drives me, man, just to be the best assistant coach I can be first. Then when my time comes, I'll be ready.
And Coach, you said that the right thing, because I don't know if you listened to the show last week to Coach Brown. Coach Brown was an assistant coach at Buford, and I told him one day, I said, Coach, you're gonna be a head coach one day. Never even knew the guy. At the time I didn't know him, but then when later on it came down the line, I remember him when he used to be around his dad, and he, the reason why I hop on, the reason why I hop on Coach Brown a lot, because I'm telling you, I see you and him where y'all young coaches and y'all energized and y'all got a lot of energy and y'all love this game. But I always tell him, don't burn yourself out so much now, because when you get to a certain age, you're going to say, well, you know what? Oh, man, I'm tired. I had enough. And as long as you be around the game, Coach Wade, there's going to be some ups, and God knows there's going to be some down in this game of basketball. And it's not just about basketball. There's going to be some time that you're going to have some problems that, you want to bring to the gym, and the kids might not understand, and there's some problems. And the biggest thing is, Coach, you're going to have some players. You're going to have some players that are going to be, I say it like this right here. They're going to have some home problems. They're going to have a lot of family problems. They're going to have some school problems. And that's where you're going to have to come in as a head coach and say, you know what can I do to help this kid? Because you may not have the answer to everything. And that is the number one reason why, Coach, we are doing these shows like this right here, so we can have the older coaches that have been through that. You might call me and say, Coach P, listen, man, I'm going through such and such, and I might not have the answer. But if I reach out to a coach that I know that been in this game a long time, and I like to go into areas where, I always bring up Coach Favor from Ridgeland. I go down to Cecil, down to Esther. I go to these seasoned coaches that been around a long time that say, listen, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And this is how you do it. So I'm telling you, as a young coach, there going to be some times that where you're going to say, you know what, man, I don't feel like going to the gym today. But young as you are right now, you energized. You are just, when I called you the other day and tell you, Coach, listen, man, I want you to be on my show, I could have feel the energy in you. You were like, oh, man, I'm ready. And I said, boy, I remember when I was that young, I had much energy. But it came to a day one time that somebody popped my bubble and said, all right, it's time for you to slow down a little bit. But, Coach, man, listen, man, if it comes down to where you have a kid, because, I know in Millen Valley area, if I'm not mistaken, is Silver Bluff, Norfolk, Aiken. There's a lot of good schools around y'all. And you as a JV coach, you're going to have to prepare your players for the next level. Right. The next level means every day, Coach, you have to prepare them. So if the head coach says, all right, Coach, I need A to come up to me today, or is he ready? You can't sit here, Coach Wade sits there, oh, man, Coach, I don't know if he's ready. Then you ain't doing your job. So as assistant coach, if I come to you and I'm going to ask you a question here, and I'm going to test your skills here. If I come to you and say, Coach, I need 5 of your starters today to play this game, and I might send them back to you, I may not. And you might say, well, Coach, I only got 11 players. I'm going to play with this 6. What would you ask as a coach? What would you do as a coach?
I mean, it's an echo too, Coach. I can hear you, but it's also an echo.
It's an echo.
Yes, sir.
I can hear you. I can hear you playing here.
Let me try
Can you hear
this.
me?
I can hear you now, Coach.
Okay.
Let me take these out. Can you hear me now, Coach?
Yeah, coach, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, man, as an assistant coach, to the varsity team, and being the head JV coach, I'll be ready because, I'm gonna have 11 of the best players on that JV team. So if you take my 5, my other 6 can be ready because what I preach is next man up. I always preach that.
Right there, you go.
I
That's the
always
answer I'm
preach.
waiting on right there.
Yes, sir. I
That's the answer
always
I'm waiting
preach
on.
that because if even as my position, if the head coach one night said, "Hey, I'm sick," and he said, "Hey, Coach Wade, you got to coach tonight," I need to be ready.
Right. Yeah.
Or he get a tech and he got to sit down and I can stand up. I need to be ready. So I'll be ready for it because I'm gonna have my boys prepared for it. They need to be prepared because they always need to have that next man up mentality.
Coach, how do you well coming up? We always say grades is a big thing for kids and getting them prepared for life. We know we want to get them prepared for basketball. How would you tell a kid, that possibly, I'm gonna put you in the head coach position right now as a varsity coach, and there's a player that's in the 12th grade that he wants to play basketball so bad, but his grades is not where they're supposed to be, and he got to go to JUCO, but his parents want him to go to Division One. I know you might have heard this question plenty of times. How would you explain to this player, listen, man, this is the road that you need to take. Now, if you do what you're supposed to do, you're good there. What would you do? What would you do as a coach? I'm put you as a head coach now. What would you do to tell that player, okay, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to do. What would you do?
It's funny that we talking about this scenario because I had the same scenario happen literally earlier today, where I had a kid that he wanted to go. This was last year when I was coaching at North Augusta, but a kid wanted to go D1, and I told him, said, hey, like I think the JUCO route, then you can go D1 from there or D2. But the simple answer is college basketball is college basketball.
Right, right.
Simple as that. Literally, if you go JUCO, NAIA, D2, D3, D1, college basketball is college basketball. So I'm not gonna say don't get caught up in the hype. And this is me talking to the kid. Like I tell them, don't get caught up in the hype of it's D1. Everybody want to go D1, but not everybody can play D1.
Right, right.
So I tell them, hey, go JUCO. If you good enough for D1, do what you gotta do at JUCO. Get your numbers. Of course, get your grades up, but get your numbers. Then you can, possibly go to that D1 position. But college basketball is college basketball.
Correct. And I see when you made that comment, Coach Mayo said send him to JUCO. So I mean he's a
Coach
JUCO
Mayo.
coach.
Coach Mayo,
Coach
get him
Mayo,
right.
he was
Coach will
early
get him
scout.
right. He'll get him right.
And Coach Mayo, he haven't known yet, but I got him on a show coming up in the next couple of weeks here because I got a lot of things I got to cover, and I'm going to be coming on a couple of weeks. But again, thank you for tuning in. Sports Talk with Coach P. My YouTube is Sports Talk Live with Coach P. And my guest tonight is Coach Antauwn Wade. He's a new JV coach over at Millen Valley. And Coach Wade, we're going to talk about one or two more things before you let you go. But, Coach, I know last year, did you coach a team last year?
I did. Last year, I was at North Augusta High School.
Right. That's what I remember seeing. Okay. But let me ask you this right here. With the pandemic and a lot of stuff that was going on, and see, and Coach Brown, I asked him the same question. How did y'all react? How did y'all go for as getting yourself prepared for a game? And then you may go in the locker room and the AD may come knock on the door and say, hey, Coach, you're not playing again. Team just called and said somebody might have the virus. how did you act as a young coach and a coach then? What did you do? I mean, how did you feel about it? I mean, I know nothing we can do about that, but just tell me how you feel. Did you get frustrated as a coach or what?
No, I mean, honestly, safety first, of course. So if that's the case, then I want to make sure my guys are safe. So it was small things. It was just adjustments. And when I was coaching at USC Aiken, man, Coach Vanderslice, Mark Vanderslice, man, amazing coach. He was head coach. I felt like I was at a clinic every single day of my life. It was amazing. And
Wow.
he used to teach us curveball management. That's what he used to always say. And I didn't understand it until when I left and went to high school. But he basically said, like, always be prepared for, if something goes bad. He said,
Correct.
always be prepared for that. So if something starts at 7 o'clock, get there at 6:45. Because you might be running into a traffic jam or something like that. But as far as like the pandemic, it was times where we will maybe at practice and we get a phone call and say, well, this kid's not gonna be at practice today because he gotta go get tested. So things like that, we were just
Right.
always being prepared for it. Or like how you said just now in the scenario of we not playing in a game because of a pandemic or because someone maybe got COVID or something. But in that situation, it'll just be, we'll talk. And if it's at home game, man, hopefully we could just scrimmage each other just to get some runs in, just to get some runs because playing is always good for sure.
Well, Coach, you at North Augusta. Did you do the boys or the girls?
Boys.
You're the boys. I know the girls, had a successful program for a lot of years, and I tasted a piece of that Bumblebee one time. They got me, boy. I tell you what, that was the worst Bumblebee bitten I ever had in my life. Woo! That's some good basketball down here. I tell you, great basketball. But again, man, Coach, I don't want to keep you long, and I'm not gonna stay on here long tonight. But I appreciate you coming on, man. Is anything that you would like to say to I'm gonna say Facebook, but I'm gonna say to the world because you're gonna be on YouTube here, and I have a lot of friends out there on my Facebook messages and my Facebook friends, and they don't know nothing about Coach Wade, but I
Right.
want you to tell the world. I'm gonna say the world. You tell the world, what there is that they should expect if you would coach their kid. What would they get out of you?
Passion. Passion. It's passion. My first time this year was my first time coaching AAU, my fifth grade boys, and you can go down my timeline and you would see we won 5 out of 7 championships, and
Right,
we lost the first championship because I had to tell them the next day at practice. I said, "Don't mistake my passion for aggression." And I told him just, with my message, it's the tone that I'm letting you know, like, hey, I want the best for you. I want the best for you. But if you're not giving me the best, I'm gonna let you know
right,
because
right,
I'm only here with you for 28 minutes. So
right.
this 28 minutes, I need everything
Work,
you got.
work.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I need
you
everything
got to
you
work.
got.
You know.
So in that case, man, it just passion, passion. I'm a young coach. I can relate to the kids. I can relate to. I look like a kid a lot of times. It was times when I'm walking around, man, and people asking me, "Hey, man, where's your ID?" Or I'm like, "Whoa, like I'm grown, man." Like So, and also with me relating to the kids, coach, it's just a matter of not only will I tell you or ask you, "Hey, go do that." I can also go do what I'm asking you.
Right, right,
So if I go tell you go do a double cross and get to the rim, same leg layout, I could go out there and demonstrate it. And a lot of kids are visual learners, just like me. I'm a visual learner. So if you tell me to go to the right side of the court and then do this and make a pass from here, I might ask you, hey coach, can you show me how to do that? So when I'm coaching, I'm showing you, I'm gonna demonstrate it. And like how you said, I'm energetic. So I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna tell you with passion, hey, this is how you want to do it. So once a kid see that, and my biggest thing also is I want to make that connection with them.
there you
You
go.
know,
Right.
I want to make that connection. It's not all about winning. It's not all about winning. I told someone this earlier. someone once told me, they said, well, you worry about winning. I said, I saw my kids when we lost, I seen how they was crying. I said, I never want to see my kids cry again. So now when we win the game, they're smiling. So I'm going to do everything in my power for us to win this game because I don't want to see my kids cry.
And Coach, you ran into what I was my next question. I guess you just felt that thing coming off the top of my head. Like I said, I had a coach on a couple of weeks ago, Coach Strawn, and him and I was talking about winning and losing and showing the kids to play the right way. So because when you're playing AAU ball, you can win every game you want to. Is anybody in the world going to remember that Coach Wade won every game in AAU basketball?
Exactly.
Or everybody's going to remember Coach Wade coached JV basketball and he got this player right for the varsity level. Coach Wade coached varsity basketball and his team won 3 or 4 state championships. But Coach, I tell you this right here. One thing I learned about coaching a long time ago. God knows you're going to have some good teams. You're going to have some teams that just not, there. But when, that's why when I hate when somebody asks me the question is, you had a successful year the year before, and then next year they're going to ask you, Coach, y'all going to be loaded again? Loaded like, what you talking about? I'm acting dumb. Like, I'm loaded. I'm always going to have competitive ball players. When I was at Collin County, for years, we had some competitive basketball players. And some years we had that just wasn't there, but we kept on fighting, and we kept on fighting, and we kept on fighting. And at different schools where I coach at, every ball player is not the same. I can't run a flex offense with these players because they cannot relate to what I want to run to. So you gotta do as a coach what's best for you and your players, because you're gonna have like you said earlier, so your players crying. And you said that was a passion you had. You said you did not want to see that. So what do you do as a coach when you get back into the gym? Let's work. The only way you're going to be successful, the only way you're going to, in real life now, you're going to have to work and make some money. So it's just like you on the floor, you're going to have to work. If you got 28 minutes, I always say, try to stretch it out. Try to stretch it out as much as you can until it's all right, coach, it's time to go. Because if you don't get your kids successful and you don't get them ready for a basketball game, who the first person they're gonna look at? They're gonna look at. They're gonna look at you, and and being a head coach, man, I've been in for a long time, man, and God knows there were some times I think ain't in the world that I'm gonna do this another year. I can't. Then every year I do it one more year, and then I do it one more year, then I do it one more year. And when I got married, I told my wife, I said, "Man, I think this is it. I can't do it another year. Health was just getting, not bad, but just some things I wanted to work on. My blood pressure was getting high, and I had some good girls. I had good girls all the years that I coached at every school that I coached at. There was some times that when I took the job, like, what in the world did I just get myself into? But like I said, I took the job as a head coach. I took the job and wanted to be the leader of this program. And every program that I always been to, I try to leave a positive note.
Right.
And what I want to tell you as a young coach, make sure you get into your player's life. Make sure you tell them, hey man, it's not good to do this right here. Don't yell, don't scream at it. But when you're on the floor, it's you got to separate coaching. Right. And I'm not saying a fatherhood, but you got to separate coaching to basically, I said, the fatherhood off the floor. Because one of these days, one of these players, if they make it to the big league, if they don't make it to the big league, if they make it have a successful job or have a successful life, they're going to remember what Coach Wade told me. Coach Wade might have said one word that just touched me to say, you know what, I think that I can do this right here. And, man, I'm telling you, Coach, if you stay in the right way and do this game the right way, and never think that you know everything about basketball, because I'm, as a day 50 years old, still don't know everything about basketball. Right. I don't. But I look at a lot of older coaches when I go to games. I'm thinking, oh, that's how you do it. Okay, this is how you do it. And I'm thinking, well, I'm done. But I still can help somebody because, like I said, if you got a problem, and the reason why I do my show is because you might say, you know what, I need help with something. And there's somebody out there that'll reach out there and touch you and say, listen, man, do it like this way, and it's going to be all right. Because I'm telling you, there's some days you will go home when you become a varsity coach. It ain't going to be like JV anymore. It's going to be a lot of pressure on you, buddy. And I hate to put the pressure on you now, but it's going to be a lot of pressure on you. you
Right,
know.
for sure. And Coach, I want to say two things, man, that you said, man, that really touched me too. That you touched on. Like the first thing was just about like being in kids' lives for sure. Like one story I always tell whenever people ask me about my basketball career is we had when I was at USC Aiken as a student assistant. My first year, it was this kid named Talik Evans, man. I always tell this story. Talik was 5'7", short, skinny, little point guard, and I didn't know him. Nobody knew me. No, I didn't know the players. I'm a student assistant, so no one knew anybody. So I'm brand new. And
Right.
first day of practice, Talik he get hit in the eye. So I didn't, I'm like, I don't know him. And he was like, when I come back, he's 5'7". So I'm thinking, man, at the college level, you're supposed to be 6'8". What is this 5'7" kid here? So he gets hits in the eye and he couldn't practice for like a week. So he said, when I come back, y'all gonna see. And I'm like, you 5'7", bro. Like, what you gonna do? Coach, I tell you no lie. It was to a point he scored. I think he's the leading field goal percentage at USC Aiken when he was there for 1 year. He made the most 3-pointers at USC Aiken. He scored like 38 two times, like back to back. And he came from Savannah State. And the reason I'm saying about him is he asked me one time, he said, Twan, what you about to do tonight? No, it was it was the next morning. He said, what you doing in the morning? I'm like, waking up, going to class. Like, what you doing in the morning? And he's like, let's get some shots up. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we shooting around. So we shooting. We go play against Catawba. We get smacked, coach. I'm talking, we get smacked. So after the game, he was mad. He was like, man, I think I shot too much. And they called me Twan. He was like, Twan, I think I shot too much. And I was like, nah, man. We just had a bad game. He said, well, what you doing tonight? I said, I'm just chilling. What you doing? He's like, let's go get some more shots up. So after a while, it became a routine. We get shots up after every game, before games, before you know it, he was hitting 38 points a night, 30, 32, 33, 25, 20. So he was averaging like 19. I think it was 19.9, which is really good at the
Right.
level. And he went overseas, and one time he texted me, and he said, I owe a lot of this to you. And I was like, what? What you mean? It was like a random text message. And I was like, what you mean? And he said, man, I remember them nights you got in the gym with me. And he was the MVP of his league in Germany, his first year.
Hey, man, I
And
told
I
you.
was like, man, it was more than money, man. It was more than money.
Yeah, man. I tell you, man. I don't have a story almost close to that, but I had a young lady that played basketball in the Big 12 at Kansas State, she was my assistant coach for years over at Collin County, and everybody knew her. Everybody knew her because she played basketball. I think AU ball when the guy out of Hickey out of Yamasee was running a little AU basketball
Yep.
team, and she was the only girl that was on the team. She was a big girl then. I mean, tall. And she played, I think, high school basketball her 7th, 8th grade year all the way up through high school. Very successful, and went on to play at Kansas State for 4 years. And I always say, there's no limit that you can tell a kid that you cannot do this and you cannot do that. A kid can do anything they want to, they put their mind up to. Right. And you as a coach, you're going to remember that young man for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. Because, when I first got into coaching, there was one kid I used to pick on that kid. So I said, man, you just terrible. You just and that. You just suck. You terrible. And I was a head coach, and I was like, I can't believe I just told that kid that. So, it went on a couple of years. And I walked into a bank one day in Charleston one day, and I was going to see if I can get something done. And I walked in the bank, and the guy's like, may I help you? And he said, oh, how you doing, Perry Smalls? I was like, oh, he know me already. I was like, oh, I know you. He said, remember the little kid you used to pick on? When I was in high school, you said I wasn't going to be nothing, this and that. I'm thinking, oh, my God, now I need to borrow some money at this bank. And this is the man that's going to do it for me. And I might as well just turn around and leave. And I said, all right, man. Well, I said, I'll just go. He said, no, come on. He said, because without you give me all them bad remarks and everything, I was like, but the kid, it's that, coach, man, again, man, it's coaching, now is going to a different level now,
Right.
and a lot of these older coaches that I'm gonna have on my show, and we're gonna hit on that thing, man, because I'm not only gonna have basketball coaches, I'm gonna have volleyball coaches, I'm gonna have baseball coaches, I'm gonna have other people that run businesses, and people want to know, well, how you run a business and be a basketball coach? That's two different things. No, it's not. It's almost the same thing, and coach, again, man, I really, really appreciate you coming on. I'm glad you accept my call and, be on my show, man, because it really means a lot to me, man, because, one thing I learned as a coach, man, you never forget where you come from. I didn't have this type of opportunity we didn't have phones back then to do Facebook and all kind of different stuff. Now you can give a kid a phone, man, they can pull up the whole world less than 2 or 3 minutes because technology is so tough now. We didn't, again, man, Coach Wade, man, I appreciate it, man, and best luck to you, man. And like I said, if you ever need me for anything, and it may not be money, may not be food, it may be anything. Just say, Coach, man, can you answer this question right here? Can you help me out? If I don't have the question, if I don't have the answer to the question, I'll find out for you.
Thank you so much.
I will find out for you, man. And I hope that I hope that one of these days, like I tell Coach Brown, I hope to see you at the next level. If it be high school, or it be college, maybe the NBA, maybe the whatever, JUCO. I want to see you do the best you can do and be the best you can be, man, and never ever settle for less, man. Always striving to be the best coach you can be. And also remember, it's not all about coaching. You got to reach one, you got to teach one. If you see a kid that's not doing so good, he or she may not be a basketball player. He or she might be just somebody walking around the school. Talk to him. It ain't gonna hurt you, just talk to him.
Yes,
and
sir.
you're gonna remember that. You're gonna remember that kid in a couple of years. You say, you know what, I talked to that kid, but you don't have to brag about it. You can just say in your heart, talk to that kid right there, man. Look how he's doing. They'll remember you. Trust me, they will remember you. And again, man, I appreciate you, man.
While I'm on here, man, I hate that I didn't say it in the beginning, but I just want to thank God just to have this, opportunity. Definitely, I always want to put him ahead of my life for sure. I should have said that in the beginning. And then two, I just want to thank you just for, having me on here. You'll be able to, tell the Facebook world or in your YouTube channel also, give me shedding some light on me and some exposure. But I just want to, why I got this light, man, I want to thank Coach Roberts, Coach Antauwn Roberts. And it's funny that you said about somebody having a lasting impression on you. He was my science teacher in 6th grade.
Because he's at Robert Smalls now, isn't it?
Right. He gave me my first assistant coach job.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, so he gave me my first assistant coach job, and Coach Strada, he gave me a lot of stuff that I learned from him about defense. I learned from him. Coach Van Slice, Corey Hendren. He's at Pembroke this year. He taught me a lot about being an assistant coach. And one thing that he told me one time about being an assistant, he said, "You always back your head coach, no matter what going on."
You're right.
And I see so much, especially in the high school world, where we at the grocery store and an assistant coach from high school, he don't know what he's talking about, or this right. And it's like, he told me that, I guess for those reasons, like, hey, you always back you almost not glorify him, but you want to put him on, you want to let people know that, hey, that's my head coach too. So I'll never talk about my head coach. This is, everybody make mistakes, but at the end of the day, he's our leader. So he gonna lead us to a championship, or if we lose a game, he gonna lead us. So, with that being said, man, I just want to thank y'all just for, the people that tuning in too.
Man, I appreciate you, man. Again, man, just to let you know that, I got some events that's going to be coming up probably next year.
Okay.
My one event, I'm going to probably have a all-star basketball game. It's called Coaches Against Coaches. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get funds where I can help a kid. It's going to be a female and a male coach, a female and a male player that I'm trying to help. If they're going to college, we're going to try to help them out on a scholarship. Now, it's not probably going to be a whole bunch of money, but it's going to probably something I can put in their pocket to say, hey, we as coaches, we are backing you up 100%. And we want to give you this gift here in a small little token we want to give you. And I'm also, Coach, I'm going to have a golf tournament. Now, I ain't no golf player. I tell that to Coach Brown. When you see me swing a golf club, you better back up because I don't know where it's going. But I know there's a lot of coaches out there that play golf, man. And my goal is, and my dream is to get many coaches I can in the Low Country, South Carolina, wherever they can come from, and we're going to find a golf course and we're going to have fun. We're going to get together and we're going to do some things. We're going to do dinner, and we're just going to socialize as coaches, man. We're going to do female coaches, obviously male coaches, man. We're going to do some of the retired coaches, man. We're going to have 2 or 3 speakers come in. I'm just trying to do something a little different and, to say that, I want to give back to my community, Collin County. I want you to give back to Wade Hampton, because I told you earlier, don't forget, Coach, where you come from, because you never know when you have to go back to that town where you started from. A lot of folks always say, I'll never coach at my home school. I'll never do this and that. Well, you said that. I've never said that in my life as a coach, and I never will. Because I always say, when the coaches call me, I had coaches call me that I coached at school before. Hey, man, how did you do this and how you do that? I tell them, I'm not a coach that says, I'm not going to tell you how I've been successful, because somebody else paved the way for Perry Smalls to get where I'm at. And I still got more work to do, and I'm going to do it. So again, man, I appreciate you so much. And y'all, ladies and gentlemen, this is my main man right here, Antauwn Wade from Hampton, South Carolina, but he's coaching at Midland Valley JV basketball team, the guys. And Coach, again, man, thank you so much, man. And if you get time in the next couple of days, I'm going to get this thing downloaded to Sports Talk Live with Coach P on YouTube. And my email is sportstalkcoachp@gmail.com. And you got my phone number, man. If you ever need me, dog, I'm here for you. Much love, man. I love you.
I appreciate you, Coach. I love you too, man.
All right. Thanks, man. Again, that was Coach Antauwn Wade from Wade Hampton, South Carolina. From Hampton, South Carolina, but he's a coach now at Midland Valley in Aiken, South Carolina. And this is your boy, Coach P, with my YouTube channel, Sports Talk Live with Coach P. Again, thank you all for tuning in. I got a couple announcements before I leave. The other day I was in Holly Hill, South Carolina, and I stopped at a little restaurant over there right next to the IGA. And the restaurant, I think, is called The Gathering Cafe. I play The Gathering Cap. And the young lady named Katrina Cummings. She have a restaurant over there, and I'm going down there to do a show live. So if you in Holly Hill, South Carolina, y'all go by there and support her business. She has some real good food in there. Support her real much. And I'm going to do some live shows from there. I'm going to interview I'm trying to get in touch with the ladies basketball coach from Lake Marion. I'm trying the volleyball coach from Lake Marion. She's also the assistant. She's assistant volleyball coach, and she's a head softball coach. So I'm going to be doing interviews when I'm down there in Holly Hill. What day it's going to be, I don't know. Probably most likely it's going to be on a Saturday morning. Coach Tim Bowen, make sure you call me, big guy. When I get off live, I need to talk to you, because I got a special occasion for you to do, man, Coach. I really need you to call me when I get off. Again, man, I appreciate everybody coming on. Only thing I'm trying to do is spread the word that we have some good coaches here in the Low Country, we got some great events coming up. Me and my wife's gonna sit down and we're gonna put some things together. I'm gonna put a Cash App up, and I hope you can donate to the Cash App, because the money's not going to my pocket. The money's going to assist. Maybe somebody at a school, a player needs something. And if I have it, we're going to get it to them, because we want to see every kid be successful. We want to make sure they be successful in school, in life, and if they play sports, we want to be successful then. Again, thank you for tuning in with Sports Talk Live with Coach P. Again, good night. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Good night.